Howdy, I'm Eric Aller with Tilson Homes, Senior Vice President and member of Tilson's fourth generation. It's a beautiful day today. We're out here placing concrete on one of our model homes in Bryan, Texas. We're going to tell you everything you should expect when we're pouring concrete on your land. So the day we come out to pour your concrete, you're going to notice a lot of things are going on. It may seem or look a little bit chaotic, but the reality is everybody has a job to do, and it's much, much more orchestrated than it may seem. You got guys that are in charge of raking the concrete. You got somebody in charge of the actual pump truck itself. You got a guy in charge of moving the pump around, making sure that we're getting the concrete in deep in all those beams. You got somebody in charge of what they call their vibrator, which goes around and makes sure that that goes all the way down into the beams to make sure the concrete doesn't have any air pockets in it. There's lots and lots of things happening. It's really, really exciting. You want to be real careful, but it's a very exciting time to come out and watch the things that are going on your property. The most important part of your home being built is in fact the foundation. And this is an exciting time to do, and probably one of the most interesting things that happens. So what you'll also see them doing is putting in the J bolts all the way around the perimeter. So it's a galvanized bolt that's shaped like a J. They're putting that in the perimeter. That's to make sure that the first framing member that goes down, your toe plate, is going to be bolted and anchored to that foundation. So they're putting those in as they go around and trowel all the way around the perimeter. Another thing you're going to notice folks doing is when they're doing the finish, there's different types of finishes they're doing on the slab itself where the flooring is going to be versus on the porch. So you'll notice some different finishes on your garage versus your porch versus the actual slab itself. And that's because they're all going to be walked on differently, of course. So they're pouring this concrete right now right on top of these post tension cables. And the cables are both in the beams as well as in the cap or the 4-inch portion of the top of the slab. Here in about a week or so, they're going to come back and actually put tension on these under the supervision of the engineer up to about 30,000 PSI. And because it takes 28 days for concrete to cure completely. So we do that about 7 to 10 days in, and then the concrete continues to cure, and it really uses the compression strength of that concrete as they're pouring it right on top right now. You're also going to notice some 2x4s that have been kind of seemingly randomly driven into your polyethylene vapor barrier throughout. They've got little nails on them or marks. Those are called grade stakes. So as you see them running the screed or doing the finish work on the concrete, that gives them a spot where they can level to make sure that this whole concrete is as level as possible. There may be some dips or low points here and there, but all in all, by and large, it's going to be a very level surface to take your flooring later on. So predominantly our foundations all across the state are done more or less like this. What you might notice different is some of the beam depth, beam width. So these happen to be 12-inch by 36-inch beams. Of course, that's ultimately up to the engineer. What you're also going to notice is kind of some of the finish work is done a little bit different from place to place, and that's just, you know, Texas is a really big place with different regions, and the finishers do different types of work. But by and large, you're going to notice a very similar homogeneous quality going all across the state of Texas. So thanks so much for joining us today. We hope you got a lot of information on what we showed you, and we hope to soon make you part of the Tilson family.